Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and very good morning to all of you. I hope you're safe and sound. Welcome to Melly's Telegram classes. Today we're going to talk about the types of dependent clause. A dependent clause has three types. Number one, adjective or relative clause. Number two, noun or nominal clause. And number three, adverb or adverbial clause. Let's talk about the first one. What is an adjective clause? It is a dependent clause that modifies a noun or pronoun. It is also called a relative clause. In other words, we can use an adjective clause to talk about or to give more information about a noun or pronoun. For example, I like the car which is in the yard. Which is in the yard is talking about the car. It is giving more information about the car. And that's why we call it an adjective clause. You can also call it a relative clause. Another example, I talked to the boy who is wearing a black shirt. The boy who is sitting in the front row is from China. I bought the book which you told me about. The boy is reading a book which is written by Shakespeare. Remember, the noun or pronoun which is modified by the adjective clause is called its antecedent. For example, in this sentence, I talked to the boy who is wearing a black shirt. The boy is called the antecedent of the adjective clause. The boy who is sitting in the front row is from China. The antecedent of this adjective clause is the boy once again. Let's talk about the markers or connectors of adjective clause. In simple words, a marker is an introducer. There are three types of markers of an adjective clause. 1. Relative pronoun. 2. Relative adjective. And 3. Relative adverb. We've got 4 relative pronouns: who, whom, which, and that. 1 relative adjective, whose, and 2 relative adverbs, where and when. In total, we have 7 markers or introducers of adjective clause. Let's talk about the cases of relative pronouns. By cases, I mean where I can use the relative pronoun in a sentence. These are the main cases of relative pronouns. Number 1, subjective or nominative case. Number 2, objective or accusative case. Number 3, dative or oblique case. The first one is subjective or nominative case. In this case, relative pronouns, only 3 relative pronouns, who, which, and that, function as the subject of the relative or adjective clause. They are followed by a verb and cannot be omitted, because we cannot omit the subject of a sentence. By omit, I mean to delete. The structure for the subjective case of relative pronouns is who or which or that plus verb plus complement. As I said earlier, you have to use a verb directly after them in subjective case. For example, the student who is studying hard is intelligent. The adjective clause is who is studying hard, and the marker is who, which is a relative pronoun, and the case of the relative pronoun is subjective. Who is the subject? Is studying is the verb part. I met the man who helped me last year. Who is the relative pronoun and helped is the verb. And the adjective clause is who helped me last year. Number 2. He taught the student who was late. Number 3. The book which is on the table is mine. Let's do an oral exercise. Combine the following sentences using which, who, and that. Do not forget that who is used for people, which is used for things and places, and that can be used for both of them. For animals as well, you can use which. Number 1, let's do it together. She is the teacher. She teaches grammar at Melly. Now find that word which has a connection with the first sentence. In simple words, the pronoun. She is talking about the teacher. And to make an adjective clause after this, out of this sentence, you have to remove this she and use a relative pronoun. Since she is the subject, you have to use a relative pronoun that is used in subjective case, and that is who. So you can say she's the teacher who teaches grammar at Melly. Good luck with the rest of them. Let me share the answers with you. Number 2. I'm the man, I killed the snake. I am the man who killed the snake. You can also say, I'm the man that killed the snake, but that's informal. Number 3. He was the engineer, he constructed the house. He was the engineer who constructed the house. Number 4. It is the book, it is very interesting. It is the book which is very interesting, or you can also say that is very interesting. Number 5. This is a computer, it is expensive. This is a computer which or that is expensive. He was the student, he came late. He was the student who came late or that came late. Fardeen is the teacher, he taught this class. Fardeen is the teacher who taught this class or that taught this class. Number 8. It is the room, it is very cold in winter. It is the room which or that is very cold in winter. This concludes our session for today. Remember, you have to perform an exercise that is attached to the same video that you watched recently. Thank you.